I abandoned my cheating wife after she did this in office party. Reddit cheating stories. I'll never forget the night my world came crashing down. The night I realized the woman I had loved, trusted, and defended for years, was nothing more than a stranger in disguise. It was supposed to be a celebration. My wife, Emily, had just received a promotion at her marketing firm. She'd worked there for 6 years, always coming home exhausted but proud of her accomplishments. I was proud too, she'd earned it. So when she invited me to her company's annual office party, I was genuinely excited to finally meet the people she worked with, the ones she'd mentioned countless times in her stories. But that night turned into a nightmare I never saw coming. The party was held at a fancy rooftop venue overlooking the city. The music was loud, glasses clinked, and laughter filled the air. Emily looked stunning, a red dress that hugged her perfectly, her hair done up elegantly, the kind of beauty that always made me feel lucky just to stand beside her. As we entered, she was immediately greeted by her coworkers. Everyone seemed friendly, shaking my hand, introducing themselves, congratulating her. But one name, one face, stood out: Ryan. Ryan was her coworker, the funny guy she'd often mentioned in her stories. Ryan this, Ryan that, she'd say, always followed by a laugh. I'd never thought much of it, I trusted her. But when she saw him that night, her face lit up differently. It wasn't just happiness, it was something deeper, something hidden. He gave her a hug that lingered a bit too long, and when he greeted me, he barely made eye contact. My instincts whispered something wasn't right. But I brushed it off. I didn't want to be that insecure husband. Hours passed, and as the night went on, people started drinking more. Emily too. I noticed she stuck around Ryan more than anyone else, laughing at his jokes, playfully touching his arm, even whispering something into his ear. My chest tightened, but I kept my composure. Maybe it was harmless fun. Maybe I was overthinking. Then, around midnight, the host announced a dance segment. Everyone cheered and ran to the dance floor. I excused myself to grab another drink and some fresh air. When I came back, Emily wasn't at our table. At first, I thought she was dancing. But she wasn't on the floor. I scanned the crowd, nothing. That's when I saw Ryan heading toward the elevator, laughing with someone behind him. My heart sank as I caught a glimpse of a red dress following close behind. It was Emily. I followed quietly, trying to stay calm. They entered a private lounge area near the back of the rooftop, a place meant for employees to rest. I stood by the slightly open door, my heart pounding, breath shaky. Inside, they were alone. Ryan poured her another drink, their laughter soft and intimate. Then, he leaned in and kissed her. She didn't pull away. I froze. The glass in my hand nearly slipped. My body went numb as the woman I'd loved for 10 years kissed another man, so comfortably, so naturally, as if I didn't even exist. I didn't storm in. I didn't yell. I just stood there, watching the life I'd built collapse in silence. Then, without a word, I left. I drove home that night in complete silence. My phone buzzed with her calls and messages, but I ignored them. When she finally came home hours later, she looked pale, eyes red from crying. "Jake, please, I can explain," she said, her voice trembling. I didn't shout. I didn't curse. I simply asked, "How long?" Her tears fell harder. "It was just once, I swear. I was drunk, I didn't mean." But I stopped her. "Emily, I saw how you looked at him. Drunk people don't create chemistry, they reveal it." She broke down. Completely, admitting that the office friendship had turned into emotional flirting months ago. That they'd shared moments, though she swore it was never physical before that night. But I didn't believe her. The trust was gone, shattered beyond repair. I left the next morning, packed a small bag and walked out of the house we'd built together. She begged me to stay, promised therapy, begged for forgiveness. But there's a kind of pain that doesn't fade, the pain of realizing love alone isn't enough to keep someone loyal. I filed for divorce a week later. The first few months were hell. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Every corner of the house reminded me of her laugh, her voice, her lies. I blamed myself, wondering if I'd failed her somehow. But eventually, the truth set in: her betrayal was her choice. It wasn't my fault she threw away everything we had for a few cheap thrills at an office party. A year later, I'm in a much better place. I moved to another city, focused on myself, started my own small business. I met new people, built new friendships, and slowly, learned to trust again. I heard through mutual friends that Emily lost her job not long after. Apparently, her affair with Ryan became public when their HR department got wind of it. Ryan quit, and Emily's professional reputation took a major hit. I didn't celebrate her downfall. I just felt indifferent. The love I once had for her had transformed into something else, wisdom, maybe. Strength. Looking back, that night at the office party was both the worst and best moment of my life. It broke me, yes. But it also woke me up. It taught me that peace comes from letting go, not revenge, not bitterness, just walking away from what no longer values you. So to anyone listening to this, if you ever find yourself betrayed, don't lose yourself trying to fix what someone else broke. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply leave. And that's exactly what I did. I abandoned my cheating wife after that night, and it was the best decision I ever made.